Now, I know perfectly well what some of you special interest boys out there are thinking. God help the country if he gets 4 more years. Well, I'm here to tell you, like it or not, I'm taking a shot. I swore to give my country all I've got, and that's what I'll do. The red, white, and blue has got an IOU from me, so I'll ask you to prepare your ears for 4 more years of my country 'tis of thee, my country 'tis of thee, and you bet I won't forget it's your country 'tis of thee too. If elected, when the votes have been cast, I'll build on the past and promise you a future built to last, to hold it in trust, to keep it or bust, to do whatever must be done, by George, and if they say I'll have to pay a high price for liberty, my price for liberty, pay I will, and stamp the bill, the price for our liberty paid. Now a lot of people say that I brag, I wave the flag, and I'll not say they lie, no, never, till the day that I die, I won't deny, I'll be proud to wave the stars and stripes forever. And the hour that it falls from my hand, give me your word to let it not touch the ground for a moment. Keep Old Glory waving high, let it fly o'er this land for which it stands. Yes, keep it flying for all to see, and let it fly from every home, every spire, every pole, and yes, my friends, in every heart, till we're part of one endeavor, which is to live and to die for one goal, one common goal, that this our land will fly the stars and stripes forever. I can hear you saying that I'm being jingoistic and dismissing what I've said. Why do people make a dirty word of jingoistic? When I hear them, I see red. Yes, I'm seeing red and white and blue, the same red, white, and blue that you see, and I want the world to see it too, and I'll keep...
All the folks in Manhattan are sad, 'cause they look at her and wish they had the good old Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes, indeed. My sister Martha and I have been talking all week about your sermon last Sunday. It's really marvelous, Dr. Harper, how in just 2 short years you've taken on the spirit of Brooklyn.
Oh, that's very gratifying, Miss Brewster.
You see, living next to the church all our lives, we've seen so many ministers come and go. We always say the spirit of Brooklyn is friendliness, and your sermons are not so much sermons as friendly talks.
I've always enjoyed my talks with Cardinal Gibbons. Or have I met him yet?
Oh, no, dear, not yet. Are the biscuits good?
Bully!
Would you care for another biscuit, Dr. Harper?
Oh, no, I'm afraid I'll have no appetite for dinner now. Besides, I always eat too many of your biscuits just to taste that lovely jam.
But you haven't tried the quince. We put a little apple in with it to take the tartness out.
No, thank you.
We'll send you over a jar.
No, no, you keep it here, so I can be sure of having your biscuits with it.
Oh, I do hope they don't make us use this imitation flour again. I know it may not be very charitable of me, Dr. Harper, but I've almost come to the conclusion that this Mr. Hitler isn't a Christian.
Ah, yes, if only Europe were on another planet.
Europe, sir!
Yes, Teddy.
Point your gun the other way.
Gun?
To the west. There's your danger. There's your enemy. Japan!
Why, yes, of course.
No, Aunt Abby. Not so much talk about Europe and more about the canal.
Oh, yes, let's not talk about the war. Would you care for another cup of tea, dear?
No, thank you, Aunt Abby.
Dr. Harper?
No, thank you. I must admit, Miss Abby, that war and violence seem far removed from these surroundings.
It is peaceful here, isn't it?
Yes, peaceful. The virtues of another day are all here in this house. The gentle virtues that went out with candlelight, good manners, and low taxes.
It's one of the oldest houses in Brooklyn. It's just as it was when Grandfather Brewster built and furnished it. Except for the electricity, and we use it as little as possible. It was Mortimer who persuaded us to put it in.
Yes, I can understand that. Your nephew Mortimer seems to live only by electric light.
Oh, that poor boy has to work so late. I understand he's taking Elaine with him to the theater again tonight. Teddy, your brother Mortimer will be here a bit later.
Delight.
We're so glad it's Elaine Mortimer takes him to the theater.
Well, it's a new experience for me to wait up until 3 o'clock in the morning for my daughter to be brought home.
I do hope you don't disapprove of Mortimer.
Well,
We'd feel so guilty if you did, Sister Martha and I, since it was here in our home that your daughter met Mortimer.
of course, Miss Abby. Of course. And so I'll say immediately that I believe Mortimer himself to be quite a worthy gentleman. But I must also admit, Miss Abby, that I've been watching the growing intimacy between him and my daughter with some trepidation. For one reason, Miss Abby.
You mean his stomach, Dr. Harper?
Stomach?
His dyspepsia. He's bothered with it so, poor boy.
No. I'll be frank with you. I'm speaking of your nephew's unfortunate connection with the theater.
A theater? Why, Mortimer writes for a New York newspaper.
Yes, Miss Abby, I know. But a dramatic critic is constantly exposed to the theater, and I don't doubt but what some of them do develop an interest in.
Not Mortimer. You need have no fear of that. Why, Mortimer hates the theater.
Really?
Oh, yes, he writes awful things about the theater. He used to write about real estate, which he really knew something about. But then they made him take this terrible night position.
My.
But as he says, the theater can't last too much longer, and in the meantime, it's a living. I think if we give the theater another year or two, perhaps. Oh, what could that be? Oh no, Teddy dear, I'll go. Hello, Mr. Brophy.
Hello, Mrs. Brewster.
How are you, Miss Klein?
Very well, Miss Brewster.
Good day, gentlemen. What news have you brought for me?
Colonel, we have nothing to report.
Splendid. Thank you, gentlemen. At ease.
You know Dr. Harper.
Sure. Hello, Dr. Harper.
Oh, we've come for the toys for the Christmas fund.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that is a splendid work you men do. Fixing up discarded toys to give poor children a happier Christmas.
Well, it gives us something to do when you have to sit around the office. You get tired of playing cards, and before you know it, so you start cleaning your gun, and before you know it, you shot yourself in the foot.
Teddy, go upstairs to your Aunt Martha's room and bring me down that big box of toys. How's Mrs. Brophy doing today? Mrs. Brophy has been quite ill, Dr. Harper.
Pneumonia.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, she's better now. A little weak still.
I'm going to get you some beef broth to take to her.
Oh, you don't have to bother, Miss Abby. You've done so much for us already.
Oh, we made it this morning. Sit down. It won't take a minute.
You really shouldn't go through all that trouble.
Listen, you try and stop her or her sister from doing something nice. And for nothing. They didn't even carry your vote.
When I received my call to Brooklyn and moved next door, my wife wasn't well. When she died, and for months before, well, if I know what pure kindness and absolute generosity are, because I've known the Brewster sisters.
Colonel, we promised not to do that.
But I must call a cabinet meeting to get the release of those supplies.
We used to do that in the middle of the night. Neighbors started raising Cain with us. I think they're afraid of him.
Oh, he's quite harmless.
And suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. There's a lot worse people he could think he was.
Damn shame, though. Family like this having cuckoo.
Well, Teddy's father, the old girl's brother, he was some sort of genius, wasn't he? And their father, Teddy's grandfather, seems to me I've heard he was a little crazy, too.
Crazy like a fox. He made $1 million.
Really? Here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, patent medicine. Old Sergeant Andrews remembers him. He was kind of a quack of some sort. I hear he used to use the house here as sort of a clinic, trying things out on people.
Yeah, I heard he used to make mistakes, too.
But the department never bothered him much because he was useful in autopsies, especially poison cases.
Well, whatever he did, he left his daughters fixed for life. Thank God for that.
Not that they were spending it on themselves.
Yes. I'm well acquainted with their charities.
You don't know the tenth of it. When I was working with the Missing Persons Bureau, we were trying to trace this old guy that we never did find. Anyway, do you know there's a renting agency that has this house on its list for furnished rooms? They don't rent rooms, but you can bet that anyone who comes here looking will walk away with probably a good meal and a few dollars in their pay.
It's their way of digging up some people to do some good to.
Well, now, isn't this nice?
Hello, Mrs. Brewster.
How do you do, Mr. Brophy? Dr. Harper, Miss Clyde. How are you, Miss Brewster? We just dropped in to get the Christmas toys. Oh, yes, Teddy's Army and Navy. They wear out. They're all packed.
Oh, he's upstairs getting them. Apparently the cabinet has to okay at first.
Oh, of course. I do hope Mrs. Brophy's better.
She's doing much better, thanks. In fact, your sister's getting some soup for me to take to her.
Yes, we made it this morning. I just took some to a poor man who broke ever so many bones.
Oh, you're back, Martha. How's Mr. Benitsky?
It's quite serious, I'm afraid, dear. The doctor's going to have to amputate in the morning.
Can we be present?
No, he says it's against the rules of the hospital.
Oh, you couldn't be of any service. Besides, you must spare yourself something.
Here's the beef broth. Make sure it's good and hot.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, this will be fine. It'll make a lot of kids happy. Down O'Malley boys, nuts about toy soldiers.
That's General Miles. I retired. What's this? The Oregon!
Teddy, dear, put it back.
But the Oregon goes to Australia.
Now, Teddy.
No. I give him my word to fighting Bob Evans.
But Teddy! What's the difference which kid gets it? Bobby Evans, Izzy Cohen? We'll be running along now, man. Thank you very much.
Not at all. Goodbye.
You must be getting home now.
Home before you go, Dr. Harper.
Charge! Charge the blockhouse!
The blockhouse?
The stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Haven't you ever tried to persuade him that he wasn't Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no.
He's so happy being Teddy Roosevelt.
Once, a long time ago, remember, Martha, we thought if we could persuade him that he were George Washington, it would be a nice change for him.
Oh, but he just stayed under his bed for days and just wouldn't be anybody.
We'd so much rather he be Teddy Roosevelt than nobody.
Yes, well, he's happy, and what's more important, you're happy. You will see that he signed these, won't you?
What are